down. We're playing fast and loose. We're catching up super fast. We got a lot going on. Not a lot of time to get it done. Hello, beautiful people. Today is day number 217 of office hours. Look, I know you slept late. You just got here. Let me bring you up to speed. Look, man, office hours, that's the Five Nation check-in. That's where I go live every single day for 217 days in a row. I never missed one. Sure, let's just say that's the case. Live on Scam School with 2 million subscribers. Live on Modern Rogue with 1.7 million subscribers. Live on x.com/wood with over 1 million followers. Going undercover with the suits over at LinkedIn. And of course, the hardest of the hardcores, the elite ones, the real ones, the Diamond Club. Look at that. There they are. You see the diamonds? They approach. And in fact, well, here, let's see if I can go ahead. There we go. Boom. There's that too. All right, guys, we got a lot coming up today. We have a VibeOS, an entire operating system that knows nothing. It quite literally is just the trappings of everything of an operating system, and it fills in the gaps. How does it do? We're going to find out all about it. But first, we have to maintain our march, our steady march, as we gird our loins, our psychological loins. That's right. I'm talking about psychological loins. Come at me, terms of service. Next up, I'll be implying that such a thing as a male nipple exists. Here's the important part. Bad guys have robots. They're using us. They're using them to deceive us. The only way for us to protect that beautiful battlefield that is our mind is to walk slowly through all the episodes of Scam School. That's what we call Scam School, the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. Today, we are up to episode 114. We're going to gamble on this one. So while you're watching, be thinking, how many people tuned in for this? Because you're going to place a bet here in a bit. But in the meantime, we're going to watch this episode 114. Hold on. There we go. Now we got it. How to turn a cigarette into a razor-sharp knife. Here we go, beautiful people.
This week we proved that a cigarette can be a deadly weapon. I mean, outside of the obvious, killing you thing.
This episode of Scam School brought to you by Click It or Ticket and Netflix.
Welcome to Scam School, the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. I'm your host, Brian Brushwood, and this week we have an anytime, anywhere puzzler. As long as you have a pack of cigarettes, you can pull off the cigarette slice. Annie, welcome officially to the full-time Revision 3 team. I don't know if you know this. A lot of people who watch a lot of Revision 3 shows notice that sooner or later, the trial by fire is that everyone has to appear on Scam School. And since you're the new fresh meat, now you have to get scammed, basically, right?
Okay.
All right, we're going to play. Same rules as always, just going to play for one beer. And I've got an unusual challenge. I ran over to the bar, grabbed a couple of limes. You can pick whichever one you want. You pick whichever cigarettes you want. But the scam is that you need to cut a lime in two. Cut it in 2 halves using only the cigarette.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake. All right, look, I like the way you step up and take the challenge instantly. If you can pull it off, I will so buy you a beer. If you can't, I'll sell you the answer for 1 beer. Go.
Can I touch the lime?
Yeah, you can touch everything. Yeah, no, you actually no. You have to use your psychic mind power to manipulate the cigarettes.
Right. I feel like the skin is a little bit thinner on this one, so I'm gonna try this one.
All right.
And
whichever cigarettes you want.
I think the American Spirit box is very attractive, so I'm gonna go.
Okay, good.
Go with that.
It's
I like
important
the
to
color
do
scheme.
aesthetics-based reasoning. I like this.
Now, is there any knives or something hidden in here?
No, yeah, that's right. The trick is I just hit his scalpel in there. You take it off. Oh, it's easy.
Can I bite the lime?
No, you can't bite.
Can I tear it?
You have to use the cigarette to cut it in half.
Okay. Can I use fire?
Well, yeah, you can light the cigarette. Go for it.
Probably won't like that here. That's probably not too bad.
Oh, that's right. It is non-smoking.
Okay,
I forgot
okay.
we're in San Francisco.
Here we go. It's not working. I'm not allowed to rip it?
Huh? Well, no, because
Can I use
otherwise
my
then you
nails?
don't even need the cigarette. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you have the raw strength to just go like that,
'Cause I
I'll
think I
buy you a
might.
beer on principle.
Okay.
I will buy you a beer out of fear of your off. No fingernails. What are you doing? You don't even need the
You told me I
cigarette.
could use
I
my
said you
brute
have to
strength.
use the cigarette. You have to use this. You have to cut
Okay.
it in half with the cigarette.
Okay.
And understand, this is not like I'm not just teasing you. I'm not making up something ridiculous that's impossible. That's exactly what I'm going to do when I get my sweet, sweet free beer.
Okay.
We're looking for the cops.
Okay, let's see what happens if I don't really want to light this up because it's going to smell nasty. What's that happens if I do this?
Are you burned? You're burned? Oh, I was about to say you're about to be burned.
God damn you!
No.
I give up.
You're totally out?
Yeah.
All right. I'll give you the answer, but it's going to cost you 1 beer.
Yay!
Ding, ding.
Woo! That was close. She almost
All right,
got
guys,
it.
Memorial Weekend
That
is
was,
coming up soon. So let's
hey
talk-
guys, Memorial Weekend. Look at that. We're almost synced up in real time. Thank you very much, Click It or Ticket. Yeah, dude. So this was a good one. And I just realized the thing I wanted to say, I have to hold off because we're about to gamble on it. So now's the time. Head on over to GuessAttack, GuessAttack.com. Place your bet. How many views do you think this episode got when it originally premiered? Well, I guess since it originally premiered. Don't look. Don't cheat. You have to gamble. It's not gambling if you look.
From May 24th to June 6th. Police are stepping up enforcement, but that's not why you should wear a seatbelt. You should wear a seatbelt because you're a freaking jackass if you don't. Seatbelts have saved 250,000 lives.
You know, I thought that this was a lot of Click It or Ticket. Thank you very much for sponsoring Scam
All right, so
School.
you're completely giving up. You're done. You're out. You're calling it. There is no
Can't figure
possible
it out.
way, right?
Absolutely no way.
This was one that actually got sent in to me on email and blew me away. I get a lot of people suggesting some tricks I've heard before, or weirdly that we've already covered in Scam School. But this one was neither. It was like nothing I'd ever heard of before. It was a secret. You almost had it, actually. When you lit the filter side, I was afraid you were going to accidentally figure it out. Watch this. There you go. And don't worry, I'm not going to smoke, so I won't get in trouble.
This is California.
This is California. There we go. So I am going to light the filter here, which I think is some kind of fiberglass material. And then while it's still burned, there we go. Now take a look at that. You actually, when you light that filter, and first of all, you got to get your fingers super cold here, right? Otherwise you're going to burn yourself because it is very, very hot. But then you can kind of sculpt it into a little cigarette shiv, and feel with your fingers how hard that is.
You're hot.
That's right. Now here's the key though. Using your little cigarette shiv, you can actually cut. There we go. And you want to start just with the rind, just get it right around the equator of the line. And once you've made it all the way around, this is one part. There we go. All right, here we go. And once you got the rind done, you can pull it right apart and cut it in half. How easy is that?
God. Let me inspect this.
Just like that. And you know what? We're going to have you go through all the steps, and I'm going to explain some of the subtleties to make this work. But you get the soft little baby limes, so it'll be even easier for you. All right, we'll do that after the break.
Okay.
That's interesting because we're doing a C block, but I don't know how much of narrative tension we're getting out of it. I think that I probably could have teased that a little bit better if I implied that there was a specific thing that I was withholding until after the break. But then again, look, I'm going to grade it on a curve. This is early Scam School days, early enough that we're just figuring out the C block structure in general. And then also, I think, did we toast at the end? At least I didn't shake a hand, for goodness sakes. That was, yeah. Anyway, remember Netflix, guys? It's back in live stream form right now.
Of course, my favorite feature.
It's funny because right now in the news is the fact that Netflix has a morning show. And now here we are on a morning show talking about Netflix.
Sign up, and when your friends sign up, make sure you send them to netflix.com/scamschool. That way we get credit for the sale, and you get to keep swimming in free drinks.
All right, it's final exam time. We got to see if we can pull it off, Annie. First of all, we get the ice water.
Okay.
What else do you need for the trick? Remind me. This is your final exam.
I need a pack of American spirits.
Oh, American. Oh, it's because Marlboro's not good enough for you? Cowboy killers, get out of here.
And some fire
Yep, you need fire
and a mini line.
and an itty bitty line. That's right. And you do want to actually, if you have a choice, feel for the ones that have the softer rinds, the fresher ones, because the old stale ones are going to be like, you can eventually pull out. It's going to be an ugly thing though, right?
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
So step one.
Step one, light the match.
Now, one thing I would do if I were you right now is you want to actually pre-cool your fingers because that flame really is hot. So maybe if you have naturally cold hands, you're okay here. But I would say leave your fingers in there for a good 10 to 20 seconds until your fingers are almost numb.
You didn't do that.
I didn't do that, and I burned myself. Which is why I don't want anything to happen to your fingers, right?
Okay.
So, yeah, get it nice and cool in there. Once it's nice and cool, then light it.
Okay.
And I say leave them wet as well, like you're doing right there.
Okay.
There you go. Do the tap, tap, tap. There you go. Oh, there you go. Beautiful. Look at that. Oh, that thing's a deadly weapon. Now, what's nice, though, is like you have it sharp on one end, and you have a place to put your finger on the other, so it'll push down and bite into the lime. Phase one, already done.
Ready to go?
Phase two,
So
let's see
should I use
it.
this side?
Yes.
Okay.
And so you want to get your fingers all the way around it so you got a good grip on it. There you go. So you can kind of dig deep. Can you feel it biting in there?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh my
And you want to get it
God.
down a good 1/8 of an inch in. There you go. Once you hit the juice, you want to hit the juice all the way around.
I can't believe it's not breaking.
Yeah, it actually is super strong. Apparently, like sturdy construction is the hallmark
Yeah.
of cancer sticks.
Wow. All right.
Wait! Does she have it? Yeah! Well done, Annie. Congratulations. Now buy me my beer.
First and foremost, huge thanks to Chuck Savage for tipping us off to this gem. I love this trick. Second of all, something to remember, when you make that shape of the filter, get it as close to the shape of a scalpel as you can manage. That curved edge will help you get a bite into the rind of the lime. Third of all, yes, you're playing with fire and you will get burned. Make sure to take appropriate precautions and don't sue us, dude. It's fire. What did you freaking expect? Now, I want to hear about your success stories and failure stories, so post them at the boards at scamschool.tv, where you can see all of our episodes right back to episode 1. If you want to hit me with your favorite bar scam or trick, write me directly at brian@revision3.com. If you're doing the Twitter thing, you can follow the show at twitter.com/scamschool, or find out when I will be in your hometown doing spontaneous meetups at twitter.com/schwood. Next week, our special guests, the Rothman brothers, will teach us how to get your WoW character up to level 70 in under 36 hours.
We will bring you 1,000,000 hits. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Until then, I'm headed back to the bar. That's guaranteed. Rothman brothers, who are those jokers?
Yeah. Holy cow. I believe that is the first NSFW show reference that we got in there. That was Justin Robert Young and Brett Rounceville showing up with as the Rothman brothers, where their whole bit was they got you 1,000,000 hits. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Yeah, in fact, I wonder if we can find that. Hold on. Let's do NSFW show. Rothman Brothers 1,000,000 hits. Well, there is a Rothman Brothers. Well, there's NSFW and nude videos, so that'll be the end of me searching for. Now you know why the show stopped being called NSFW. It turns out that there's only so many times that people can go and look up your stuff, and then you can regret it. Whoopsie! At any rate, oh, Charles Rubach, are you playing? Wow, awesome. All right, guys, we're going to do some degenerate gambling. Head on over to Guessattack, GUESSATTACK.com. And what we're going to do is you're going to place a bet on how many views you think this episode turn a cigarette into a razor-sharp knife. How many views you think that one got? Not Scary Steve thinks it's 750,000. Muslix thinks it's 192,000. James Goldball comes in at 577,566. Curtis Hoffman, 6956, says it's 750,000. ATL John Boy says 712,356. Kuro Maturiku says 1.2 million and one. Might as well have just typed out the words, "Suck it, Hawk Warley." Sine Wave says 10 million and 1776. Mavambo Cube coming in at 500,000. Bantarat with 1.69696969. Basically 1,696,969. Cliff Horn with 900,114. Joey H666 with 900,000. BioCow with 1,480,841. G James B with 420,069. Earth 56 with 122,056. Kid Cart 72 with 1,458,231. Vincent V with 5,000. Flying Car 100 with 54,000. Hawk Warley with 1.2 million. J with 666,666. Charles Rubach with 756,123. And the real number of views for How to Turn a Cigarette into a Razor Sharp Knife is 1,563,309 guesses closed. Wow, nicely done. That means number one with the bullet, BioCow, a gold medal. Oh, there we go. BioCow gets a gold medal. Thank you very much, BioCow. Congratulations to you. And then also we've got Kid Cart 72 with the silver medal with 1,458,000. Bantarat with 1.696969 million. Well done, gang. Yeah, this one is a good one. It's a good, solid episode. Let's take a look at the retention analytics. I'll bet. Let me switch accounts over here. We can take a look, see at the analytics. I'm going to bet that there's a significant fall off going into that third act. Yeah, look at this one. Had some random pops here. A little algorithmic love. Yeah, this would have been. Oh, yeah. Oh, what did I called it. Called it. So good, solid on Act 1. Tolerate this. Everybody. Oh, look at this. A bunch of people came back and scrubbed through the explanation a couple times. What? Nobody stuck around for the Rothman brothers. Boo! The average view duration. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. So this is back when there's a lot of quantity of people, so we have good data. You can tell the data gets a little erratic as the sample size gets lower. What happened around here? Nobody wanted to watch it around this time. Interesting. It's as though smoking took a dip. Actually, if I were to guess, well, I don't know. This would be like a mismatch. I wonder what that was going for. Okay, hold on. What is going on over here? Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh no. We'll have to get on the other side of this. All right, guys, we have good stories. If you head on over to officehours.themodernrogue.com, that's officehours.themodernrogue.com. There we go. Hi, guys. Then, oh, that's not a bad shot, actually. Look at that. See what this does when it begins to figure out Here, I'll go ahead and lock that in as shot number 3. There we go. There we go. We'll go to officehours.themodernrogue.com. All right, we are definitely going to watch how an AC works because Brian is now a cool dude. You know why? Because I'm not a cool dude. I just dropped a lot of money in order to cool this place off. And look at this. It's been running all day. Set at 70. It is 80 degrees in here. It is colder outside than it is inside. So we'll find out exactly what that is. Yeah, I need to splash all that liquid nitrogen right on my face. Not scary, Steve. All right, but in the meantime, let's check this out. This is really awesome. Sign posted this one in the doc. This is, number one, there are certain trappings that you can look for in the way people talk where you instantly know, oh, this is one of those kind of talks. And this is clearly somebody who is moving fast and has a clever idea. You can tell just from the way he talks. I also love the fact that it begins mid-sentence. This is peak YouTube for me. Check this out. Oh, there we go. Go, go, go.
Next. And in fact, I'm already there. So I'm going to show you, and I need to introduce you to a completely new operating system that's going to change everything about how we work. So, introducing VibeOS, okay? It's the world's first completely hallucinated operating system. All right, and I'm going to show it to you right now. So, firstly, it is a real operating system. I can boot it. It's a VHDX file here, about 1.3 gigabytes. Could probably make it smaller. I didn't bother. I could boot it on bare metal, but I'm not going to. Going to boot it in Hyper-V. And so you will see that boot up nice and fast. It's very efficient. And when that comes up, you'll see it's got a beautiful user interface that allows our user to be highly productive. Okay, so here we go. We're ready to get started with that. It's a bit hard to see there, so let's just switch to a full screen view. And we're going to start by running a few of the applications that are built in here. So we'll get some of the classics going. So we'll have Notepad, we'll have Calculator, we'll have Internet Explorer. And the thing that's unique here, the thing that you will never have seen before, is that in these applications, there is no code at all. Everything in all these applications is being hallucinated in real time by the AI. So there's no buttons, there's no event handlers, there's no logic to say what to do, but the application works. So if I do 5 divided by 3 and then equals, if I can find that, it's up there this time.
This
it's
time.
1.6. Okay, so it works, right? But I didn't write any code, and neither did AI. There's no AI written code either. It's just producing UI exclusively with nothing behind it. And we've got Internet Explorer here. Unlike the boring operating systems that you use today, this solves one of the big problems that people have, right? People are always wondering when they're on their internet, is it AI or not? But in VibeOS, you don't have that problem. There's no question to be answered because the answer is always yes. Everything is AI. So if I want to, I can go to, I don't know, let's see if we can find whether Scott Hanselman has a Wikipedia page, shall we? So I'm going to go to google.com here, and let's do a search for Hanselman Wikipedia, and we'll do a Google search there. And I don't need to remind you this, but all of the content you're seeing is completely hallucinated, right? So it's just coming directly out of the model, and the UI is being updated in real time as we go. And here's a beautiful picture of Scott Hanselman. I'm not sure about that one. All right, but it goes further, right? We're not limited to these built-in applications. We can search for any app that we want, and everyone always does like to do app demos. So anything that I search for, I'm going to find.
Holy
and it will
moly.
just be created for me on the fly, all right? So let's see what else we could find in here. Let's go for one of the classics, Encarta 98. Everyone loves that one. But it's all about Mark Russinovich. All right? And so we can get a fully customized version of Encarta 98 on whatever subject we're interested in. All right? So lots of facts and figures about Mark here. Let's see. Selected facts. Sedovich has a talent for turning internals into folklore. Great. I assume that's true. I don't know. All right. And other applications that you would want, but normally it's too difficult to make. So like Commander.exe, but it's always rude to you. All right. So that's the sort of application that I think is a genius idea, but it's difficult to get someone to implement something like that. So let's see what we've got on this machine here. And obviously, this is always different every time. OK, there's something suspicious. Let's see if we can run bash in here. What's it got to say to us? Bash, you have somehow offended. OK, fine. All right. So you get the idea, right? This is a pretty revolutionary way to do computing because we don't need to write any code for any of our applications anymore. Are there any software you would like to try out within VibeOS? Anything you can think of?
Microsoft Money 95.
Money 95.
Yeah. Civilization peaked at Microsoft Money 95.
Money 95.
Oh, but Scott Hanselman has a lot of money.
Oh, but for Scott Hanselman.
Yeah, you can say Scoot as well. That's totally fine.
All right, so let's see what Scott had in 1995. Okay, let's see.
Okay, and this is
Scott's checking account.
What model is in the back end of this?
Scott. It's been a tough month for you, I guess.
Where are the tacos?
There we go.
That is amazing.
All right.
Okay.
So.
All right, I want to see paint with a drawing of Scott on it.
Paint with a drawing of Scott.
I'm an owl, though.
Let's do paint.
Before your haircut.
So here's the important part of this. There's a little bit of inside baseball obviously happening, but this is fascinating because if what you want is the subjective experience of anything you want, like you can see the beginnings of a version of simulation theory happening where there is no underneath this surface, but now we're all the way back to first principles. We're back to René Descartes. It's like if it looks and feels like you're in an OS searching the web and everything lines up, then I guess what does it matter? What is the difference? Blue pill, Cypher, eat that steak. That's crazy. Che is bringing up, I'm sure it can make something similar, but not quite Doom. I believe they've done that with Doom, where there is no Doom code, but simply by being trained on gazillion hours of Doom being played, you're able to just play it as a hallucination, all made up on the fly. In fact, actually, let's peek in on that. Let's see. Oh, what would be the best way to get over there to that? I'll do this. Oop. We'll do a new chat. Hey, was there? Oh, not that. Don't you do that. Shame on you, you silly beast. Here, let me give you, here, well, I'll cede control to you guys. There we go.
The sound, people able to make the sound come this way
sorry.
as well.
Could I
really can't.
louder? Can you hear this?
Not really.
He says, define hallucination for you.
Define hallucination. Okay, so basically, all right, let me show you the code. All right, so behind the scenes, what we've got is...
Oh no, that's all we get on it.
For you.
Define hallucination. Okay, so...
Where's the rest of it?
Basically, all right, let me show you the code. All right, so behind the scenes, what we've got is...
Doggone it. Man, I really wanted to see more of that. That's phenomenal. That's astonishing. Here, let's see. I thought I saw a completely hallucinated version of Doom. An AI model trained just on the gameplay. Is there video of that? There we go. We'll see. We'll see what we get. Not Scary Steve says it's vibe coded. It doesn't really have anything behind it. Fully creating the universe for each input. Yeah, And basically all it's got to do is keep making stuff up on the fly. Game Engine. It's a dreamed doom. And that's the other thing, is that's one of the phrases that first popped into my mind as we were messing around with Sora. And I like it. I want to hold on to it. It really is. It's just auto-completing random sparks of images in a way that narratively makes sense. It just keeps on going. So let's see. The official page is here. There we go. Let's take a look at this. This is Game Engine over at GitHub. Diffusion engines, or diffusion models, are real-time game engines. So in this case, here, let's see if they explain it on here. There we go. I can turn this up. Oh, no audio? Doggone it. So in this case, it is only, there is no engine behind this. This is entirely just video autocomplete. Keep on going. And for example, right down here, it's can't decide whether or not to hold on to one face or another. And I assume that right at the beginning, Doom Level 1 is going to have lots and lots and lots of training data. But the farther you go, the more it's going to be riffing and making stuff up. Maybe it'll collapse and go back to where it's got lots of training data. Again, oh, look at this. Oh, no, that's an effect. I thought that was in the game. That's hilarious. Let's see. No, don't explain to me what Doom is. There we go. Full gameplay videos. This is what I wanted. So in this case, so you get the faces doing a little, oh, there we go. You see a little bit of those hallucination artifacts coming up. And it's over polishing things. Yeah, man, we're at a strange, awkward middle time right now. That's a lot of shooting in order to get that one dude, and another dude just popped up. That's fascinating. Yeah. So here's there's the technological side of things, and a lot of people are racing on the tech side. Godspeed. All of you try to outfast each other with everything. I am more interested in the sociological side of things and people's comfort or discomfort with how things are done. And maybe this comes from a background as a magician, but a thing that I saw as I came up in magic was everybody goes through the same experience. Day one, you open the magic kit. For a brief moment, you have the power of the gods. Then you do your first magic show, and strangely, nobody is impressed. And that's confusing. And the reason they're not impressed is because they too got that same magic kit a year ago, 10 years ago, however long ago. Let's say you're about 50-50. Half the people are impressed, half the people are not. And then you begin to see a middle layer that was opaque to you before. You see that there are some people who see the code of the matrix when it comes to magic tricks, especially ones that run on gimmicks. They require no skill. You press a button and you do it. And you recognize the artifacts. You're able to tell other fakers in this strange performance space. And so you decide, well, I know how to be. I don't like it when other people call me out for being a practitioner of fake magic. I'm going to learn skill-based stuff. And so you drill really hard and you're able to duplicate all the effects only without a gimmick. And you feel better. And yet, many people are less impressed. In fact, the people who know how the original gimmicked magic tricks work, they're more impressed because they can tell that you could do something they can't because you practice really hard. But strangely, the benighted masses, the muggles out there, are less impressed. And they're less impressed because while you are achieving these miraculous feats, you're doing so in a way that requires extra steps or is sloppy because you're relying on actual skill. It's not as clean as when you use a gimmick. And so finally you hit that third phase of professional tier magicians, which is honestly a synthesis of the two schools of thought. Yeah, you're going to use a gimmick when it's the right tool for the job, but you're going to lovingly craft it with enough stuff that even if you know about that gimmick, you are still fooled by it because that is the right tool for the job. That is exactly where we are in the world of hallucinating to fill in the gaps. We are uncomfortable with the idea that you're interacting with an entire OS that is just somebody else's dream, that's just telling you what you want to hear. We inherently don't like that. But we also don't love the gritty reality of the kludgy, flashy, flashy in the magic sense, in that you're peeking at some of the gaps in the system. We don't like to do the hard work, in other words. And so as a result, we end up evolving now that we're all wizards. In fact, hold on. Let me see if I can get... Hey, Justin, I'm just about to wrap this up. Do you want to chime in on something? Here, so Justin will come in and have a seat, and then... here, hop on over there. What do you think? Or anywhere. Just anywhere there's a mic. Yeah. Do you feel how warm it is in here?
It is pretty warm.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? Yeah, that seems like something I wouldn't do.
Yeah, it does.
I didn't. Yeah.
History.
Anyway, a tech will be over at noon. Yep. Oh, tap that mic. That's weird. Oh, that's right. This is the one that I have to switch over, and there we go. Tap it again. Hey, there you are. Great.
Yo.
All right. So we're let me show you this thing that we just peeked in. Sign found. Somebody built an entire operating system that is 100% hallucinations.
Okay.
Check this out. It whatever you type, just act like it belongs, and it will okay boss
Next.
you.
And in fact, after here we will never have seen before.
Oh, are you able to see any of this?
I can see a little screen here.
Okay. All right, we're here.
Is that in these applications, there is no code at all. Everything in all these applications is being hallucinated in real time by the AI. So there's no buttons, there's no event handlers, there's no logic to say what to do, but the application works. So if I do 5 divided by 3 and then equals, if I can find that, it's up there this time. It's 1.6. Okay, so it works, right? But
so anyway, you're able to go online and poke around, and it just is like, yep, you're online, and just whatever you type for, you can ask for applications that don't exist, and it's like, of course,
There we go.
money 98, but you're rich. Here it is, and I was pointing out that he opened a command prompt, but it is insulting to you, and it's crazy how we're back to straight up Rene Descartes, where it's like we can now, you see the beginnings of simulation theory here.
Yeah.
Like within the confines of a Windows 98-like environment, it is full on the Matrix.
You
Like,
are able to hit every button and every button does a thing. And
Yep.
whether or not it makes sense is only a matter of the tech getting better. But there is no lag. There is no delay. There is no question of whether or not you can go in any direction that you want. It's just a matter of it being coherent, which I do think when we get into the ramp and scale conversation, is probably a little bit more of a harder square to circle than some people think.
Because you're a little bit closer. You know the constraints of compute. That is not a hypothetical topic for you.
Yeah. I mean, if you just look at the top models now, they can do a lot of really cool things with delay. They can do a lot of cool things extraordinarily fast. But that is like a constantly moving target. So you can do, you can burn a lot of tokens on a frontier model doing something like that, or you can use an open source model that is about 4 months behind where the frontier models are. But the good news is, if you want to do something that's cool as the frontier models today, go to sleep for 4 months, hibernate. And when you wake up, the thing that was really cool today will be probably close to open source. So like a lot of that is just a matter of time and scale. And I think our computers are going to change. We're going to want more compute on our physical devices to run some of these things. It's going to reshape everything, really. I mean, that's part of the reason why I think I'm bullish on employment, because what happens when you retrofit your entire society? A lot of jobs get created to like work with that retrofitting. And, you could say like, oh, well, those are temporary. It's like, yeah, well, we're temporarily still in the computing retrofitting for society.
Well, so I think that this is probably the next set of books I need to read for the next year, are books that cover time periods in which something starts as a doodad and becomes a layer. The steam engine was a doodad, and then it became a layer. And then information technologies, the printing press was a doodad and then became a layer. And I think that the general discomfort that we're experiencing right now is, number one, warranted. There's going to be a lot of pivots. It's going to be a strange time. But you can kind of see different patches of society choosing their level of engagement, of whether or not, and people will tell on themselves real quick if they perceive on as AI as the doodad, which it's already passed, but many people don't see it yet that way yet, or the layer, which it is not there yet, except not in any functional, reliable way, where 1992 internet of it being a layer. But along those ways, Che in the chat expresses serious concern and justified. We make jokes about it, but this does open the door to AI rule us and lie to us and. I suspect that unchecked, you could imagine drifting into that, but I think that all the humans checking each other is a very good system.
So I think a lot of that, Che, is from, a lot of that thought is warranted and interesting, but it's also the thought that we've had with every technological advancement ever. And yes, this might be the one, but we need to look at where society and where the tech really is versus just letting it be clouded by the idea of our like Frankenstein, Prometheus sort of like the creature is going to kill the master element. And part of the reason why I say that is you've had a lot of people from, as early as Alan Turing and the people that worked with Alan Turing that talked about the idea of like, well, what happens when the intelligence becomes more capable than humans? I would make the argument that computer intelligence has been more capable than humans for decades, and we have built a society around it. They can remember things. They stay up later than us. They do our, calculations in a way that we could never do. So we've augmented ourselves with computers for a very, very long time. This is going to be a more persistent augmentation. It's going to be an easier access into all that computing ability. But it ruling us, I think, is something that is fading a little bit from public consciousness. Because we now just know what the tech is a little bit more, and the idea that each model that gets trained the fear was like, oh, this one's gonna leap out of the lab and run out into society and start causing trouble. The people that are very, very close to this kind of stuff do not think that that's likely. Now, what is likely is what you've heard a lot more talked about. Are these models now smart enough that unchecked or untrained, they can hack a bunch of stuff? Yeah, they are that. There's an episode of the OpenAI podcast that's coming out today in about an hour and a half about a new, as yet unreleased model at OpenAI that solved what is called an Erdos problem, which is it was a mathematician who created this gigantic list of open problems, unsolved math problems. And this was it was an Erdos conjecture technically, but it was a big one. It was a big major open thing. And the unreleased model solved it. But Brian, there was a fascinating tweet that came out yesterday.
Yeah.
Sebastian Bubeck, who also works at OpenAI, he's a math guy. There's a great episode of the podcast with him as well. He came out and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, the model everyone has access to today can solve that too."
That's one of the things that the fastest way to ratchet things up, however smart AI is, and here is the fundamental gap in people's understanding, is the difference between singular systems and parallel systems. A crowd is a parallel system that acts in stochastically predictable ways. If in my stage routine, there's one pregnant moment where I tee up things that way, 100% of the time, a heckler will pipe up with the right line. Now, let's say that heckler, I go back in time, I Edge of Tomorrow him and assassinate him before the show. A different heckler will show up. As a parallel entity, it will always behave the same way. And the temptation is to believe that, well, when the robots get smart enough, then because we can conceive of it being smarter than a human, it will, kill all humans. Maybe that's true if there was just one, but all the robots are going to be competing with each other and keeping each other in check. For example, every time a doodad becomes a layer, there's veto power. The Luddites were able to smash the loom making equipment. Saboteurs were able to blow up rail stations or whatever. And in that, not that I'm saying violence is key, but it is a part of it. In that negotiation, we as society end up negotiating a balance. That's why fully 50% of all jobs can be automated. We just don't want to. We want humans to do those jobs. And we as humans want to do those jobs, which is why we still have music and art and poetry and service and bartending and. And so likewise, however smart you're hoping the next model will be, if you can have access to next level smarts today, if you are comfortable breaking apart what you think of as your one chatbot assistants into a team, like 4 chatbots that are watching each other and each have different roles, become a system, and the system is much smarter than any one person. So, and you don't need more smarts, better trained models. What you just need is the ability to break it into pieces. And here's another bias that I suspect is I would never think to hire a human for the single job of forwarding an email. Once an hour, check in, look at my emails, separate it into this, and forward this one. That would be insane to do with a person. And yet that's exactly the way you need to be thinking about. The same chatbot that's helping you plan your calories should not know at all about the other chatbot that sifts and checks and forwards your email once on the hour, every hour. And I think that a lot of us don't think in terms of those pieced out jobs.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think a lot of these things are coming together. A lot of people are realizing what they can do. I know, working with Codex has kind of been a revelation, and they're going to fold that into ChatGPT. But what I think people are going to realize very quickly is that, I've long thought about LLM's capability to kind of frack information, that like ossified elements of our lives that we've just kind of assumed are there for a reason. You know, the millennial perspective, the Gen X and millennial perspective on the internet was mostly fixated on storage because we lived in a world where things went away. Like if your house was on fire in 1975, one of the things that people would run back in for after the pets and the children were safe were family photo albums.
Yeah.
Because if they went away, they were gone forever. You would never be able to see those photos again. And so a lot of like the internet's promise was like, what? I never have to delete an email. I never have to delete a photo. Every photo I can take more photos and they never go away. This is the greatest invention of all time. And then like Brian's kids and my child they don't care about that. Like they're like, no. I want to take the right thing and I want to save the right thing, but I want to delete everything else because permanence is now kind of a curse as opposed to a gift. But for us and the world that just continues to create paper trails and action trails and everything, what LLMs promise are that that's useful now. I can now look back on my life and I could say, hey, what is the evolution of every idea that Brian and I have ever had via email? Make a chart that shows like every beginning and every middle and every end on it. And that's just the dumbest example that I can come up with. Here's a good one. This Sunday or Saturday, my wife and I were having the conversation that is probably the most common in all marriages or relationships. What are we going to eat tonight? Ha! And there's like a new Thai place on South Lamar. So we're like, okay, let's try the Thai place. But I have this problem with Thai food is that I don't know what the fuck I like. I don't know what is good. And if it's a good enough Thai place, they're not going to make it easy for you. It's going to be a bunch of Thai words that you're like, I don't know. I guess I like that. Red curry, yellow curry, and then a bunch of other names that I have no idea. But I went to Codex and I was like, look, go into my Gmail and find every Uber Eats and Postmate receipt that I have ever done that involves Thai food, and then look at this URL, and from the things that I like and the things that my wife likes, make recommendations from that URL. So now, and if I totally wanted to, I could just say, also put it in the cart and hit yes. Like it could have definitely put it in the cart. But those are things where it's like, oh, your brain starts to rewire around the idea of like, who gave a shit about the fact that Uber Eats has been sending every meal I've ordered to my Gmail. Now it's like, wow, that's valuable. That solves the what are we going to eat tonight question. The what are we going to eat tonight question is like the biggest question on earth. And so like, how many of those little things are kind of out there that now we have access to and we're going to reconnect to go forward on? I don't know. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah. Sometime in the next 5 years, I predict there will be a big push for legislation that lets your personal robot demand your data from commercial carriers who have it going back, whatever. Like, it used to be that making use of big data was only in the realm of people who could spend a lot of money to parse it, to chew it, to frack it, as you mentioned, to distill it. But now that's available to everyone, and individual humans, CEOs of their own lives, are figuring out that, wait, you mean there's a whole tier of memories that exist out there in the universe that are being locked up by some company? Give me those. I didn't save all that.
Yeah, that is an interesting idea of like, oh, if it's free, you're the product. Like all they're doing is taking your data, man. Like, look at everything you do. You're being recorded, and you're like, oh, that sucks. I'm being used and abused so I can look at ads. And then it's like, oh, wait, but what if I had access to all of that? What if I could just hit export on Google?
Well, and
that would just be a part of like, hey, you now know my entire Google history. I can use that for my own benefit.
Well, and think about this. You can say just the money is increasingly in the ability to summon genies. So summon a genie, idea bot genie. Go back through 20 years of my Gmail history and evaluate how many good ideas I had that never went anywhere, or the time wasn't right, or the technology wasn't possible. Counter thought bot. Genie, you listen to all of those from the first Genie and figure out which ones are now suddenly available now, or like a project that I'm working on right now is 20 years is a long time. There's a lot of people, because anybody who's been around me knows that I've developed the habit of trying to help anybody as fast as possible. Some of those people, I'm certain, are now CEOs in positions of authority, power, of notable prominence. But it'd be neat if I could track down all those people who maybe in their world feel like they still owe that weirdo a favor from that time, and then find out what projects we're aligned on now. That's a thing that wasn't possible.
Beautiful world.
Yep. All right. We got to do the bones, people. I'll see you guys. Shouts out to Sign. Go to his GoFundMe. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Boom. Boom. Goodbye, beautiful people. See you tomorrow.